The Silver Star category in the BTRDA Rally Series would see the hard-charging two-wheel drive crews heading over to Wales and to the Cambrian Rally. And it would be winners last time out, Owen McMackin and Lee Taylor taking the early lead. A 26-second advantage to start the day in that top spot after the morning stages. Taking second place to them at this stage were former Silver Star champions Ashley Davies and Sam Fordham, back in that glorious-looking Escort Mark II. They were still chasing the category win, and it wasn't coming easily. They had a little way to go in the afternoon, but they were opening up a small advantage for themselves, a bit of a comfort blanket in that second place, if you will, to help make sure they at least secure that result. Tony Simpson and Ian Bevan make a great start to the event in the R2 class, ending the morning with the final step on the podium in the Silver Star. There'd be around 30 seconds gap to Davies ahead, but that wasn't going to stop them from pushing in the afternoon. Just outside the podium positions, it will be fourth overall for Robert Goff and Jack Bowen in the historic Escort. The gaps up ahead might be a little more comfortable, but outside the podium things were a lot closer. Only 7 seconds back from Simpson now. And it will be a similar story for Rob Wright and Mark Fisher as they end the morning 7 seconds back from Goff. It could have been a little closer, or indeed the other way round, but the gearbox problems meant that they'd lost fifth gear on the second stage, which would mean they needed to manage that through the rest of the rally. No mean feat in itself. Paul Street and Ian Jones have so far had a great run in the championship this season, including victory in Scotland. This weekend was going in the right direction as well, the pair lying in 6th place to end the morning, second in the H3 class. Sam Billum and Graham Wild may have joined the series midway through the championship season, but the pace had been good since they did. They put some good points on the board last time out and things were looking good this weekend as well. They lie in 7th place overall, second in the R2 class. In the B11 class, it would be Ricky Crone and Daniel James leading the way. A good start in the class and overall, as they also end the morning 8th place with just 3 seconds to catch Billum up ahead. Just behind them on the leaderboard would be Michael McDade and Declan Casey, third in the H3 class, only 13 seconds back from Crone. And rounding out the top 10 at this stage were Baz Jordan and Arwell Jenkins, the first of our non-Fords in the top of the results in that Avenger. 4th place in the H3 class as well, so close to McDade, ahead with just 0.4 of a second the difference. Let's take a look then, as we always do, at the places outside of our top 10 leaderboard. It will be 11th place for Rob Wilson and Martin Haggett, putting in some good times, lying second in the B11 class as well in the Peugeot. For Jonathan Jones and Neil Thomas, it would be third in the R2 class, a little way back from the top of that class, but still pushing on for a good result overall as well. And Martin Freeston and Chris Hees would unfortunately be the only ones left in H2 after we lose Terry Pankhurst. They finished the morning with that class as good as in the bag as long as they make it to the end of the event, of course. For Jeff Phelps and Colin Jenkins, it will be third in B11, just over a minute back from their closest class rivals, but crucially ready to push if anything changed up ahead. A lot of ifs and buts as we go through this rally. And rounding out our Silver Star leaderboard were Brendan Leonard and Glenn Mercer. This pair, the only ones in the N3 class. So they were, as you'd expect, leading things there. Happy with their pace, though, on the morning stages. Just keeping one eye on that overall leaderboard for progress. So the morning stages are complete here at the Cambrian. Here's a reminder of how the leaderboard at the top of the Silver Star is shaping up. The crews get ready now to do it all over again with that sting in the tail, the Twin Lakes stage on the asphalt. We're into the afternoon stages then here at the Cambrian, and we're looking at the Silver Star category results. With their usual competition in the H2 class missing, it would be a fairly unchallenged run to the finish in the class for Martin Freeston and Chris Hees. They did, of course, have the challenge of the stages to beat before they got there. Class winners 12th overall when they did eventually make it. Changes above them on the leaderboard would mean that Jonathan Lee Jones and Neil Thomas managed to gain a position overall and end the event with 11th. We're on to the top 10 then, and we we'd see Baz Jordan and Arwell Jenkins rounding out the top of the results in the Avenger still, taking third place in the H3 class as well by the finish. Rob Wilson and Martin Hackett gained some time overall on the leaderboard to move up to 9th. They tried their best to chase down the class lead, but it wasn't to be, taking second place in the B11 class this weekend. And that means that the class victory would go to Ricky Crone and Daniel James. Road rally experience certainly playing into their hands when it came to a run in the fading light over the Twin Lakes stage. They keep it going to the finish, taking the class victory by just over a minute. For Sam Billam and Graham Wild, it will be some more points to add to their late start to the season, taking 7th place this weekend, as well as 2nd in the R2 class. They might not be challenging for any top spots, but already they were up to 11th in the standings with so few events under their belt. For Robert Goff and Jack Bowen, meanwhile, it will be 2nd in H3. They may have been here all season, but the results had only just started to come good towards the second half, ending this round with 6th overall, putting them 8th in the standings. No more problems to report either for Rob Wright and Mark Fisher. Thankfully for them, managing to get around those gearbox troubles to have a good run into 5th place overall. A result that they would mirror in the championship standings as well, with one more round to go. For Paul Street and Ian Jones, it will be another strong result, taking the H3 class victory here on the Cambrian with 4th place overall. The points from this round seeing them lying 3rd in the Silver Star Championship. They do, however, sew up the historic cup for the season on this round. Tony Simpson and Ian Bevan hadn't contested every round this season, so it wasn't a championship score they were staring at. Of course, that never stops anyone from pushing. They reached the end of the rally with that final step on the podium and the R2 class win after said push. For a couple of our crews fighting it out at the top though, it would all be about the championship. And for Ashley Davies and Sam Forden, this weekend would have to be 2nd place once again. They have a good run, but they're unable to reach that top spot this time out. Just slightly outmatched. The points in the championship reflecting that too. 2nd place now overall in the standings. But taking the win this weekend as pick of the bunch, and indeed ensuring a lead, an all-important one as well, going into the final round at the top of the 2021 standings were Owen McMackin and Lee Taylor. A great run on these iconic Welsh stages and taking victory by 52 seconds. Fairly dominant then, putting them 6 points clear at the top of the overall standings after this round. So with the Cambrian Rally complete, here's a reminder of those overall positions as our crews make their way back to the finish in Llandudno. Next up, the championship remains in Wales and some different stages for the crews to tackle on the Rally Nuts stages. The final round of the championship, the final chance to make any changes to those championship positions. We will of course be there with all the drama to bring you live action throughout the day, as well as a review afterwards. I can't wait. I'll see you then. Thank you for watching.